Okay, welcome in. So I figured instead of doing a bunch of different videos for a number of players that signed, traded, got traded, or re-signed, whatever the case may be, is I might as well just do one little compilation video of a number of things that happened over the weekend. A busy weekend in the off season for the NFL. Starting in Cincinnati, where they have re-signed Mike Gesicki, a deep, very big signing by the Bengals, especially if they're wanting to improve upon this past year and obviously get back into the playoffs. Signing any key player is definitely huge at this point in time. Zach Ertz is coming back to the Washington Commanders. He has re-signed with them. He obviously had a very decent season for a veteran tight end, led them to an NFC Championship appearance, and they're probably hoping that they can repeat that performance, if not, do better and get into the Super Bowl. The Lions have released Za'Darius Smith. Pretty sure he played for Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit. Now all that's left for him to do is to complete the whole NFC North is to play for the Chicago Bears. It only makes sense, right? Yes, it does. But I wouldn't be surprised if he signed somewhere else. But the fact that he's only played for three teams and they're all in the same division is just too much of a coincidence in my books. Myles Garrett. Now this is huge. He has re-signed with the Cleveland Browns on a 4-year, $40 million a year contract. So that's 40, 80, $160 million contract, I do believe, because 4 times 4 is 16. So 40 times 4 would be $160 million. That's a lot of money. Wish I had $160 million. I remember the whole speculation was that he wanted out of Cleveland, being that I'm sure he just wanted to go to a winning team. And I really think for Cleveland, even though they re-signed him, he obviously is like the face of the franchise. I still think it's going to be tough for them to get out of the NFC North. There's just too many good teams. Like, there's no way the Ravens are going to be poor. I feel the Bengals, their state rival, will do a little bit better. And I think the Steelers are right there as well. They had a really huge trade, and I'll get to that in just a second. So you got three really solid teams in the AFC North, so I wouldn't blame him if he was traded, but he has dedicated himself to the city of Cleveland, so good on Myles Garrett. Ronnie Stanley has re-signed with the Baltimore Ravens. And again, just like I talked about with Gesicki at the very first, anytime you can bring back any key players, doesn't matter if they're on the offensive line, if they're defensive side, whatever the case may be, they can definitely help your team out in every single way. Minnesota Vikings have re-signed Aaron Jones. He had a breakout season with the Minnesota Vikings in his first year, so it's no surprise here that he's back in Minneapolis. And I'm sure, depending on their quarterback situation, he could perform just as well, maybe a little bit better. Who knows? Only time will tell. Now, this is huge. The New York Jets cut Devontae Adams after cutting Aaron Rodgers not too long ago. He has now signed with Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. A huge signing for him. Will he be able to perform at an elite level? I want to say maybe, but at the same time, he's not like the same Devontae that he was 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't say he's the best receiver in the NFL, and that's no disrespect to him. It's just when players get older, they tend to slow down a little bit, and I really think he's definitely past his prime, or he's hovering around that point. Now, speaking of the Steelers, like I just talked about, they did trade for DK Metcalf. Now, I remember when I made my review for the Steelers, and I said I didn't really know how they would do this offseason and this upcoming season. Adding DK Metcalf to that team, they're now elite. I don't think it matters who their quarterback is, whether they bring back Russell Wilson, whether they bring back Justin Fields, or they go out and maybe they sign Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. There's so many different possibilities that they can do, but they got a pretty decent tandem between Metcalf and Kenny Pickens, I do believe, is the other receiver for the Steelers. So that's a huge addition for the Steelers squad. And again, they could have anybody under center as long as they can throw the ball, pass it to Metcalf or Pickens. They'll come down with it. Josh Allen has extended his contract with the Buffalo Bills. I do have another picture that will show his exact amount made. So I'll get to that in just a brief moment. So there's DK Metcalf, a cartoon version, drawing, I guess, of him in a Steelers uniform. It actually looks pretty decent. I never thought I'd see him outside of a Seahawk color, but in a black and gold, he doesn't look too shabby. And then there's another sketch of Devontae Adams. He'll be rocking the number 15 for the Los Angeles Rams. So there we go. DK Metcalf traded to the Steelers. So that's him in his Seahawk uniform. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I do like these throwbacks for the Seahawks. That is pretty decent. It's a shame we're not going to be able to see Metcalf rocking the Steelers uniform, but I still like those throwbacks. And here it is. So you can't see it on the screen because I have zoomed in on my phone. But Josh Allen has signed a 6-year, $330 million contract, and 250 of that is guaranteed. If I had $250 million guaranteed money, woo, no telling what I would do. And then there it is. So Devontae Adams, he has signed a 2-year deal worth $46 million, with 26 of that guaranteed with the Los Angeles Rams, who is guaranteed to be in the state of California for at least 2 seasons. And then there's the Myles Garrett extension. So he had to sign a 4-year contract that includes a $123 million guaranteed, an average of $40 million per year. And that takes care of all the signings, re-signings, people getting let go so far in this offseason. As more of these signings and trades happen, I definitely want to be all over that, considering this is as much fun as I'm going to have with the NFL offseason until the NFL draft happens in April. All right, that's going to take care of this video. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative as well. Until next time, and as always, take care.